Konbanwa mina. We are back for another episode of live Clow card readings. Your host, Super Kami Guru Alucard. As usual, if you would like your fortune told during this broadcast or in the next episode, which will be the last one, this is our penultimate episode. Just comment gender, zodiac sign, and if you would like career, romance, or general future. Now, the thing is, too, if people want me to continue this episode, then please feel free to comment, like to keep doing the show, and maybe after a hiatus, we will come back and do another season. But we haven't really had any guest readings for a while as far as having their fortune told. So just doesn't really seem to be the demand that there was doing the show in the beginning. So that's why I decided, maybe after the final episode, which will be the next one, we'll take a hiatus. We might come back and do it again in the future if people request it and would like their fortune told or would like more of this. But yeah, I am very interested to see what the cards will tell me tonight, just because I'm going through a lot of, we'll say, emotional disturbances lately. So I could definitely use some guidance myself. I kind of wonder if all my hard work to quit my bad habits and work on myself to better myself was really worth anything in the long run, because as of late, it doesn't really feel like it really accomplished a whole lot. It kind of seems like a waste of time for the past 9 months. 9 months exact as far as October 8th. Yeah. So it's kind of disappointing, but maybe the best is yet to come. Who knows, right? Hopefully that's what the cards will tell me tonight, too. All right. So oh, great Clow cards of Kurorido, using the power of the sun, the moon, and the stars. Reveal to me the message that infinite intelligence of universal consciousness wishes to share with me this evening. At least the dark, the windy, the earthy, the dash, and the sword. All right. So the dark, the windy, the earthy, the dash, and the sword. So the combination of these cards tells me a very interesting thing. Now, wind and earth are actually both elemental cards. So we have two here. So there's a lot of power in that sense. The fact that we have the dark here indicates this is sort of like the darkest part of the journey, the dark time in the night, we'll say. We'll see. The wind indicates that there is a current about the things, that old things are blowing away, new things are blowing into prohibition. The earth indicates that a lot of things that are deeply rooted are still present. The dash tells me that things have not been have not been reached by simply rushing towards them or going towards them in a certain way. And the sword indicates that it's almost been like an internal battle, a struggle, so to speak, a fight. And that's really something I could relate to for sure. So, for more clarity, we will draw another 5 cards. I should have got some water before this. Anyways, I will try to do my best without my voice cracking too much. Anyways, reveal to me more clarity regarding these 5 cards for my general future. Oh, great Clow cards. Oh, Kurorido. Using the power of the sun, the moon, and the stars. Release. All right, so we have the illusion card, the freeze card, the Libra, the thunder, and the sand. So, based on the energy I was gathering from the last five cards, the fact that the illusion pops up is that things are not necessarily as they appear or how they seem. Things might appear to be kind of frozen, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they are. It just might appear that way. As if things sort of seem more still, but yet there's movement going on that isn't seen. The Libra is indicating that this is a time of finding balance. The thunder indicates like being really fired up, like really charged up. I'm sensing the energy of the thunder being here, that there is still a desire that like sort of energizes me throughout all of this, which I would agree is true. And the sand indicates that this is a difficult journey, but the fact that the other cards are in place, there might actually be something good about that in the long run, that there's an equal balance of the difficulty in the journey, which is actually a really good thing. It kind of gives me some comfort regarding the confusion of my own current situation. So that is our general future. Now we will do romance, then career. We will read a bit of Neville Goddard, and if anybody else would like their fortune told after that, we will get into that. So, all right. Oh, great Clow cards of Kuro Rido, using the power of the sun and the moon and the stars. Guide me with a message regarding my romantic situation and its development. Release. Nothing, the silent, the sleep, the voice, and the mist. All right, so the nothing, the silent, the sleep, the voice, the mist. And what this is telling me is that this is really sort of a time when nothing appears to be happening. That things appear to be non existent. It's also indicating with the silent card that this is the time I have to kind of be patient and not say anything about it. The sleep is indicating that this is actually a time of recovery and rest regarding my own personal self. The voice is indicating that I should use my voice in this time for perhaps other things, not focus so much on romance. And then the mist is indicating like certain barriers being dissolved, kind of a confusion around the situation, which I actually wish there was a little more clarity because it does actually relate to my current situation. However, it doesn't really give me a solid answer, which I'm hoping maybe in our final episode next week, hopefully, I will get the answer I seek regarding that. So we will move on to career now. Oh, great Clow cards of Kuro Rido, using the power of the sun, the moon, and the stars, reveal to me what message you have regarding my career. Release. All right, so we have the flower card, the return card, the rain card, the wood card, and the dream card. So the combination of these indicates that things are about to flower. Good things are actually coming. Returning the focus on the career seems to be an important thing. That's what I'm sensing by the fact that the return card is here. Excuse me. Basically, the return card is saying, like, remember why this is the dream path of my career, what I'm fighting for, the importance of it, and returning my focus to that now seems imperative. The rain indicates that there is going to be a great change of things coming in the near future. The wood indicates maintaining a gentle, passive spirit, sort of taking inspiration by the nature around me and letting, like, whatever is within sort of create what is on the outside. And the dream is indicating use whatever dreams or visions as sort of inspiration as well. So, very interesting. Actually, it does give me a few ideas regarding certain things with my new album. So, that actually was a very interesting reading overall. All right. That way, these are a bit different for the future reading. All right, so that concludes our Clow card readings for this evening, unless anybody else would like their fortune told before we conclude the broadcast. And now we will get into our Neville Goddard reading for this evening. Oddly enough, we have talked about this chapter in another video, so I'm going to probably reread that chapter just to review it on my own after our broadcast, but I'll skip ahead just because we haven't talked about this chapter, and it seems better to talk about a chapter I haven't talked about, which is another chapter from Freedom for All. The chapter that my bookmark is on is chapter 5, The Sabbath, which we discussed in a previous episode. So if you watch any of the older episodes of this show, you would definitely have the reference of chapter 5, The Sabbath. Tonight we will discuss chapter 6, which is healing. So, the formula for the cure of leprosy, as revealed in the 14th chapter of Leviticus, is most illuminating when viewed through the eyes of a mystic. This formula can be prescribed as the positive cure of any disease in man's world, be it physical, mental, financial, social, moral, anything. It matters not about the nature of the disease or its duration, for the formula can be successfully applied to any and all of them. Here is the formula as it is recorded in the book of Leviticus. Then shall the priest command to take for him, that is to be cleansed, 2 birds alive and clean, and the priest shall command that one of the birds be killed. As for the living bird, he shall take it and shall dip it in the blood of the bird that was killed, and he shall sprinkle upon him that is to be cleansed from the leprosy 7 times, and shall pronounce him clean, and shall let the living bird loose into the open field, and he shall be clean. A literal application of this story would be fruitless and stupid, while on the other hand, a psychological application of the formula is wise and fruitful. A bird is a symbol of an idea. Every man who has a problem or who desires to express something other than that which he is now expressing can be said to have two birds. These two birds or conceptions can be defined as follows. The first bird is your present outpictured conception of yourself. It is the description which you would give it were you asked to define yourself. Your physical condition, your income, your obligations, your nationality, family, race, and so on. Your sincere answer to these questions would be necessarily based solely upon the evidence of your senses and not upon any wishful thinking. This true conception of yourself, based entirely upon the evidence of your senses, defines the first bird. The second bird is defined by the answer you wish you might give in these questions of self definition. In short, these two birds can be defined as that which you are conscious of being and that which you desire to be. Another definition of the two birds would be the first, your present problem, regardless of its nature, and the second, the solution to that problem. For example, if you were sick, good health would be the solution. If you were in debt, freedom from debt would be the solution. If you were hungry, food would be the solution. As you have noticed, the manner of realizing the solution is not considered. Only the problem and the solution are considered. Every problem reveals its own solution. For sickness, it is health. For poverty, it is riches. For weakness, it is strength. For confinement, it is freedom. These two states, then, your problem and its solution, are the two birds you bring to the priest. You are the priest who now performs the drama of the curing of the man of leprosy, you and your problem. You are the priest, and with the formula for the cure of leprosy, you now free yourself from your problem. First, take one of the birds, your problem, and kill it by extracting the blood from it. Blood is man's consciousness. He hath made of one blood all nations of men to dwell on all the face of the earth. Your consciousness is the one and only reality which animates and makes real that which you are conscious of being. So turning your attention away from the problem is equivalent to extracting the blood from the bird. Your consciousness is the one blood which makes all states living realities. By removing your attention from any given state, you have drained the lifeblood from that state. You kill or eliminate the first blood, your problem, by removing your attention from it. Into this blood, your consciousness, you dip the live blood, not the solution, but the solution of the problem, or that which you hear to desire to be or possess. This you do by freeing yourself to be the desirable state now. The dipping of the live bird into the blood of the bird that was killed is similar to the blessing of Jacob by his blind father Isaac. As you recall, blind Isaac could not see his objective world, his son Esau. You too are blind to your problem, the first bird, for you have removed your attention from it, and therefore you do not see it. Your attention, blood, is now placed upon the second bird, the subjective state, and you feel and sense the reality of it. Sorry, like I said, my throat's really dry tonight, people. Gomenasai. 7 times you are told to sprinkle the one to be cleansed. This means you must dwell within the new conception of yourself until you mentally enter the 7th day, the Sabbath. Until the mind is stilled or fixed in the belief that you are actually expressing or possessing that which you desire to be or to possess, at the 7th sprinkle, you are instructed to loose the living bird, and pronounce the man clean. As you fully impress upon yourself the fact that you are that which you desire to be, you have symbolically sprinkled yourself 7 times. Then you are as free as the bird that is lucid. And like the bird in flight, which must be in a little while to return to the earth, so must your subjective impressions or claim in a little while embody itself in your world. This story and all of the other stories of the Bible are psychological plays dramatized within the consciousness of man. You are the high priest. You are the leper. You are the birds. Your consciousness, or I am, is the high priest. You, the man with the problem, are the leper. The problem, your present concept of yourself, is the bird that is killed. The solution of the problem, what you desire to be, is the living bird that is freed. You reenact this great drama within yourself by turning your attention away from your problem and placing it upon that which you desire to express. You impress upon yourself the fact that you are that which you desire to be until your mind is stilled in the belief that it is so. Living in this fixed attitude of mind, living in the consciousness that you are now that which you formerly desired to be, is the bird in flight, unfettered by the limitations of the past and moving toward the embodiment of your desire. I have to put something else in there for a bookmark. That'll do for now. Just till we conclude the broadcast, and I'll probably reread the other chapter just to review it for myself personally. But since we've already discussed it once in the show before, kind of seemed like, well, I should go to a chapter I haven't talked about yet. So, yeah, there's not really much to discuss as far as the development plans of the album. We're kind of in a stalemate. I don't have really the financial means to work on anything more than I already am or have put out at the moment. The producer is working on an instrumental which will use the solid state scouter instrumental from Bardock, father of Goku, the Dragon Ball Z movie about Goku's dad. And once that beat is actually put together and is referencing that, I will make a new song hopefully next month or whenever I get the means to do it and the beat is finished, of course, called Time Breaker. Now, until next month, I do have other songs that I have recorded, but they're mixed. I mixed a few the ones I did by myself, but they're not fully mastered, and I would wait until I have the means to do so as well. As I always say, it would be nice if people would buy the album, support, donate, whatever, because then as an artist, it would give me a lot more free reign to make more great music for you. But in the meantime, I will have to do the best that I can with what I get every month, which isn't exactly that much. But, well, I guess things could be worse. At least I'm still able to survive. Now, another development is I will be going away this weekend to a place quite far away from my town. So I don't really know what's going to happen with that. Let's just say I'm kind of 50-50 as far as the idea of it as a whole. But if I do make it back before next Tuesday, then we will have our final episode of the show then. Of course, unless people do comment and do want their fortunes told, in which case we might extend it for another 10 episodes and keep it going. But if not, we will take a hiatus for a while. just to work on the album and other things. And plus, this show doesn't really have the luster that it would if there's not other people commenting to have their fortunes told. Just because I could obviously tell my fortune all the time if I want, and it doesn't cost me anything. And well, there's not really any limitation on that. But the whole point I did of starting this show was to, use the cards that help give other people guidance and tell their fortunes as well. So if there's no need to do that, then it kind of defeats the purpose of the show. Now, as far as other discussions, Hitomi did end up concluding her tour, which is I'm glad it turned out really well. She did a lot of great shows. Now she's focusing on her new baseball team. He told me no creep, and she's doing really good too with that because she's actually really good. I've seen some of the videos of her practicing with the team and then playing a few like minor games before they actually take on a real full length game. And the one game it was 4-2. Her team beat the other team, and then the last one it was 8-2. So her team is actually really good. She's got some good players on it. She's really good, and plus in the like practice videos or whatever when they're having some of just the more fun games, she's actually killed the idea of it. Like she's really entertaining to watch play baseball because she gets so excited and into it when she hits it and actually can run to the next base and go far or whatever. She gets so excited she forgets to throw the bat on the ground and ends up running to the next base. And then the last video too, she's like, "Oh, take it back to the other base. I'm not bringing it back. I got my base. I saved it." And she just always takes the bat with her, which is really funny. I'm not sure if she's doing that intentionally or if that's a joke, but it's very entertaining to watch. And then, of course, Chihara actually, she's a very good friend of mine too. I always watch her vlog videos. And then the last one, she had mad like cans of this one Japanese beer called Kirin. And I'd never actually tried it, but like she ended up cooking like this fried mushroom rice with the beer or whatever. And I was like, oh, and it actually looked really good. Like usually I don't like when mushrooms like lose their texture and they go all brown or whatever. That's kind of why I don't really like mushrooms that are cooked. But these mushrooms didn't do that, and they were big mushrooms too. But it actually looked really good. And then she had the rice with it. But I was curious because she had all this like Kirin beer, and I never tried that. So I was like, if I see that, because I did see it at the LCBO when I went a while ago at the beginning of the month. But I said if I see that like at the beer store, the LCBO again, I kind of want to try it, especially because she was saying it was really good too, because she had one before she started cooking. And I was like, oh, I've never tried that. I like the good old Sapporos, but never tried that kind, right? So actually, when I went drinking with my friend Mitch, also known as Retrospect, he's been in quite a few of the songs I've made as a collaborating guest. We had a few beers on Sunday, actually, and we stopped at the LCBO and I saw it. So I actually got a can just to try to see if I like it. And actually, it was really good. Like, I like Sapporos or whatever, but the Keating was actually kind of more mellow. It seemed like it had just as much alcohol, but it was a lot more smoother. It was really nice beer, actually. And it's kind of funny because I could honestly say that even though I'm a Canadian or whatever, and I like Coors. Believe it or not, I actually tend to like foreign beers because Heinekens aren't bad either. And same with Blue Ribbons. I'm not really the biggest fan of Canadian beer for some reason. But so far, out of all the beers I've had, I could honestly say I probably like Japanese beers the best. Like, they're generally pretty strong, but like especially that Kirin, it actually wasn't too strong. It was actually really smooth. It was a nice beer. And then yeah, apparently Sapporo's got this contest because I got a bunch of other Sapporos too, where if you like scan the code or punch in the code on the back of the sticker or whatever, which I couldn't find. Maybe it got ripped away when I took the sticker off, but I even tried contacting them to say, well, I still got the barcode. How do you scan it? Because you could just scan it and tell me if I won, right? But it was for a free trip to Japan and a bunch of like spending money or whatever. And I'd be like, oh, score. That'd be right up my alley. I'd love to win that prize, right? I'm like, might as well try. But unfortunately, none of them got back to me, and I didn't even see any sort of pin code on the back of the sticker. So I don't know. Maybe that means I didn't win because there was no pin code that I could see, or maybe it got worn away when I peeled the sticker off. I don't know. But it would have been nice to win. Definitely, that's the idea. I mean, that's kind of why I'm bummed out. I mean, I'm taking this trip or whatever to go somewhere different I've never been. But in the same time, in the back of my mind, I'm like, it's not Japan. It's not like there's going to be all the great stuff I'd want to do in Japan. It's kind of in the middle of the country. Not really things I like to do out there. In fact, I'm like, I'm going to have to bring my laptop and headphones because it's like, gonna be cranking that Japanese music on my headphones most of the time, probably just to pass the time. Because it's like, people don't really have anything in common with me in Canada, which is why it's not really exciting to go anywhere else. It's like, well, I'm not like people here. I'd rather be in Japan and go see the sights there and talk to people in Japanese and learn about the culture and all that stuff. That stuff would be fun to me, but going somewhere else within my same country isn't exactly the most appealing, exciting adventure. But in this case, I'm also picking the lesser of two evils because if I stayed, let's just to say simply, it would be 1,000 times worse, which is why I'm like, I guess it's better than staying here, given the dark storm that's approaching where I am now that I'm going to have to leave to avoid. It's like 1,000 times better in the long run, but still not exactly ideal. So I don't know. Hopefully, eventually, I'll get the means to go to Japan because that would be a lot more fun. There'd actually be things I'd like to do there, and when I have more stable finances to work on my music and get back to the album, of course, I'd love to continue that project too. But especially with the way things are going, this album might actually take a lot longer than other albums have taken me in a long time. Especially because I'm really trying to make this the best album I've made in a long time, if not my best album ever, and really experiment, do things I haven't done. But also like working with other producers to really polish up the different textures and sounds and the atmosphere of all that. That's proving to be very costly, and it's kind of a bummer that I don't really sell as many records or get donations like some other artists. I mean, as the fans, if you subscribe to the channel and you watch the videos, would really appreciate the support because it's kind of hard given that I'm only living off the bare minimum of disability income every month. It's kind of depressing. In fact, considering I quit all my bad habits, which actually helped to lessen my disorders in the past, which was smoking marijuana, cigarettes, all those things, I can't really say I've gained anything for it. And now life is just harder and more stressful and depressing. So, would really be nice if a miracle happened and things got better because I've been fighting for 9 months now and I have yet to see any real significant change. But only God knows. Anyways, till next time. Oyasumi nasai minasan. Domo arigatou gozaimasu. Super Kami Guru Alucard. Peace out. Matane.